ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Glastonbury, Gabriel. Today I've come down to town to visit eatFestivals. eatFestivals put on markets around the area to promote locally produced food. And today we've come down to the first one they've ever run in Glastonbury. So we're going to go round, we're going to talk to the stallholders, and we're going to see what's happening here and see what the food's like. And I'm probably going to buy some of it. Well, here we are with the organisers, the lovely Bev and Sarah, who are the driving force behind this amazing market that we're going around today. And we just thought we'd pop over, say hello, and find out what it is you guys do. So hello and welcome to the channel.
Great,
Hi, Gabriel.
Hi, thanks very much. Thanks for the warm welcome.
Oh, pleasure's mine. So, this market is the first for Glastonbury, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We're really pleased to have been asked by Mendip Council to prepare these 4 pop-up markets during the summer season as part of the reopening of the High Street.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So they're a small selection of the local producers that we work with. So we call them Little Eats because they're like a little eat festival. And today we're in Glastonbury.
Because you have about 20 stalls here, but a full-size one is going to be 80 stalls?
Yeah, yes,
Thereabouts,
yes.
80 upwards sometimes in towns where it allows and where we're more established.
So if you're impressed with what you've seen here today, and I have been, in the comments down below, tell everybody you want to see this market back again, but we want the full-size one next time. We don't want the little one, we want the big one with all the producers. So you're at Wells next?
That's right, Wells next Sunday on the Cathedral Green, a most magnificent setting. One to rival the Abbey, possibly in terms of setting, and then the 8th of August in Shepton Mallet. And we're thinking of these little eat festivals a little bit like a Christmas selection box. So we know it's not our full-size version, but it's highlights or like an advent calendar. Behind every door there's a jewel of perfectly formed, fantastic produce, catering for all dietary needs and budgets.
Because to my mind, what I see going on here is I see the local people being introduced to local producers that they might not know exist. I didn't. I've met some already that were just down the road. I didn't even know were there. But not only that, it's encouraging people into the high street on a day where it's normally quiet. So the knock-on effect for the local businesses, it's a win-win situation for everybody, isn't it?
You've hit the nail on the head.
We hope so. It's got to work for everybody. It's got to work for the town, for the people that sell in town 365 days or however many days they want to work, but also for the visitors that come. We don't expect anyone to come very far for this, but to get to know people who are growing and making food right on our doorsteps, you know, within walking distance pretty much.
Absolutely.
Most of these producers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, as people get more comfortable coming back out to markets and events in their town, hopefully, you know, this is seen as an opportunity to commune, to bump into people they might not have seen for a long while as well, and like you said, to find a new local producer, to sign up for a new veg box delivery, get some charcuterie through the post, or find a new baker to rival Burns.
Well, yes, I'm not going to be drawn into comments about that. No, I mean, there's some people here had some bread that I wanted and it's sold out. So it does sell out, although they might be bringing one in just for me, I'll be.
Oh, wowza, special
Fingers
delivery.
crossed. Well, it had all my favourite, it had pesto, feta, all my favourite ingredients.
Tear and share loaves.
Oh, yes. I've already got my pasty for my tea tonight. I just need the bread to go with
Well,
it.
the fantastic gluten-free baker, I guarantee.
That's where the pasty came from.
I can guarantee you're going to struggle to know that he's a gluten-free bake. He's a pretty tip-top baker.
Well, this is it. I mean, a lot of people say this free, that free, flavour free. That doesn't have to be the case, does it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Not with these producers.
No.
Well, I mean, the food here, I mean, we've just had lunch. I had a mac and cheese, which is brilliant. And Amy had this most amazing Thai dish, didn't you? It was.
Pop uses all of her grandmother's recipes.
I
She called up
know.
her grandmother, who's still in Thailand, who's never seen Pop trading,
Really?
never seen Pop cooking.
She'll see it
But
today.
She might see her on your film.
Yeah,
that would be so nice.
Because we're going to be going over
That
and
would be so
filming it
nice.
today. We'll make sure that we make sure that she sends that out. And also, everybody, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're getting so close to the 500 mark, and when we get there, there's some of these Glastonbury Gabriel socks, which are highly sought after items, to be given away. Watch this space.
Hang on, are we getting free socks?
No, if Gabriel gets subscribers to
you're
reach
totally
500
subscribing.
from all of the people who are following
At the bottom,
this festival,
press the button.
then yes, we might get a
You
pair
will
of
get a
Gabriel
free
socks.
pair of socks. We also have some Jeff Callison socks to give away. Jeff Callison is a supporter of the channel in America, drives a truck. He actually supplied these socks, and we got some with his face on as well.
Definitely, Gabriel, we're so humbled that you invited us to be on your channel, and it's really lovely to welcome you to a little Eat Festival.
Thank you. I mean, we're humbled to come. I mean, just to see this going on in Glastonbury is absolutely fantastic. And if it's not done again, I should be shouting from the rooftops to get it done again. But in the meantime, we've got loads of people to go and meet and talk to. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Great stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
And we will come and film one of your big ones. Even if it's not here, we'll come and film a big one.
You're welcome to film a big
We're up for that.
Really big.
Definitely. A really big one, yes. Thank you so
double
much.
helping. Great, thank you guys.
so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
So, we've bumped into the lovely Vicky from Normal for Glastonbury. Hi, Vic.
Hello, I'm melting.
Now, Vicky doesn't like being on camera, so we're going to keep this very short. Vicky, what do you think of this market?
I think it's a great idea. I think they should be regular.
Yes.
I think we should have antique markets and all sorts of markets.
Because the ethos of this is really good. It's about farm to fork, it's about low miles, it's about local producers. And as the ladies who run this we spoke to earlier on, there's a plethora of people producing quality stuff within a few miles of where we stood. So many people in Glastonbury don't even know they're there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, farm to fork's a brilliant idea, and we're getting more and more eating establishments that are offering
Like Queen of
good
Cups.
local food. Yeah, and Benedict Street Kitchen.
Absolutely, that's another one. Because they've got their own farm somewhere, haven't they? Not far from here.
I can't remember where.
I can't remember where, but they've got one. So anyway, it's been lovely to bump into you. I think it's important that we put the word out that this is good, because they do bigger ones. There's 20 stalls here, they have 80 at a normal one.
Right,
And
wow.
I'm just thinking there's several places around here that could have a full-size one of these.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it brings people into town, it brings producers into the public they've never met, and it helps local businesses. I was talking to the news agents earlier on. They said they're busier.
Yeah,
The cafes are all stoked over the road, so it's good for everybody.
yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks, Vic. I'm going to let you go away because you're melting, and you've got that look. You've got that look on your face that says, "I wish you'd bugger off and leave me alone." So we're going to do just that very thing. Thanks, Vic.
Bye.
So here we are at the Somerset Wildlife Trust with the lovely Carol, who's going to tell us all about why she's here, what the Somerset Wildlife Trust do, and how you can get involved and help.
Thank you very much. So I'm sure everybody's aware the importance of protecting our environment. We've got 6 out of 10 of our UK wildlife is in decline. These little hedgehogs, not this glittery knitted one, but the real ones could be extinct in the next 10 years. If we don't protect what we've got, we'll lose it. Now there's a gentleman here, I'm sure we're all aware of who he is. Sir David is the president of our charity. We have local volunteers. They work tirelessly to try to reintroduce wildlife back into Somerset. We want to educate youngsters not to waste food, plastics and power, because all of this is their futures. We don't receive any government funding. The only way we survive is literally kind resident support. Any funds donated stay in your own home county, so they're only used to improve the county that you live in. Now we would send you out, every 6 months we would send you out a Somerset Wildlife magazine. It highlights all of the wonderful projects that we're working on to try to protect and improve the county that you live in. We are quite lucky. We have 71 nature reserves in Somerset. Child and mainly dog friendly, so if you've got any paw accessories, they're very welcome. And we do try to put on family events for our members. Unfortunately, our calendar of events were cancelled last year for obvious reasons. We do an awful lot for children because it's about educating the youngsters and this is going to be their futures. So we do activity packs for children and we like to send out magazines to them every 3 months. And we are desperate for help. So whatever you can do will help and it will only be used here to help to improve Somerset. Thank you so much.
Thank you, because I know the lovely Amy, who's just over there helping me film today, has volunteered for you in the past. So how can people help? What can they do to help? And when they do come to help, what sort of things might they be looking at doing?
Okay, so volunteers, just get in touch with the Somerset Wildlife Trust, and volunteers will obviously have a varied skill set that we can use. Anything from beach cleaning to helping on reserves. We have local nature watch clubs for children, so to help with children, take children out onto nature reserves to look for wildlife. You can help in the offices. So there's any skill that you have, and everybody has a skill, I'm sure that we can make use of and sure that you can be of some help. So anything at all, just get in contact.
Thank you for talking to us. So there you go, guys and girls. If you live in Somerset and you want to get involved, we can't guarantee you'll meet Mr. Attenborough, but you can come along and you can do a whole heck of things that are going to help the wildlife. And how many how many are we losing?
Well, 6 out of 10 of our UK wildlife is in decline.
That is frightening, and you can do something to help. So get in touch with these people. I'll put an address in the link below if you want to get in touch, so please do. And thank you again.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so kind of you, Bob.
Thank you. Okay, so here we are with Chris from the Mixing Bowl, purveyor of jams, spreads and cheese. So hi Chris, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing well, thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit warm for us, but apart from that, we're doing well.
Fantastic. So these are an amazing range of you've got lemon curd, all sorts of lovely things.
Based down in Dorset.
You're based in Dorset, and you make all these in-house, presumably?
We make most of them, yeah. Yeah, we don't make them all.
What made you get into making jams?
Oh, God knows. God knows.
So do you find these markets, people are kind of into what you're doing? Or?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit hot today to sell anything, really. But yeah, but generally they like them. Yeah, we're doing street. We do here. We're doing Wells next week at the cathedral.
On the green.
That'll be really good, yeah.
Some might come down and have a look at that.
Yeah.
So how's it been going for you today?
Yeah, it's been okay. Yeah, it's not been bad yet.
Good.
Yeah, there's a few people about, and that's the thing, isn't it? To get the people into the towns.
I must say the cheese that I tried earlier was absolutely delicious, that cheddar cheese. Is that locally produced as well?
Yeah, that's Barber's. Barber's is the best cheese you can get, I think, in Somerset. But all cheese in Somerset's good.
Well, yeah, we have got a history of it after all, haven't we? So,
and we got Brie as well. You know.
So we're all hoping that you're all going to come back here again and we're going to do another one of these.
Yeah, hopefully. I think the idea is to come back 4 times a year, isn't it? Or sure.
That'd be
the
brilliant.
Certainly nice. Very easy to do.
Yes. Because you can park and then just...
We could just park, and that's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for talking to me. I'm going to be buying some jam before I go home today, and certainly some lemon curd as well. So again, come to these markets and meet people like Chris here, and come and try the food. It is absolutely delicious. You've got so much good stuff right on your doorstep. So thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
for your time.
Here we are, and we've come to Boo Cottage Botanicals. I am going to ask what the name's about in a minute. And we are going to meet
Ben.
Hi Ben, pleased to meet you. So tell us about Boo Cottage Botanicals. What it is that you do, and how did you get started?
So we're natural soaps, natural skincare products. We've been going full time for about 4.5 years. It initially began as a hobby, so Nicola, who's the creative brains behind it, she's a self-confessed serial crafter, had a go at everything, but one day she wanted to make soap, And once you've got that tiny bit of knowledge, she suddenly became aware of a lot of the questionable synthetic ingredients that were used. So she wanted to create some products that she knew were free from all those nasties that you hear about, to create this beautiful natural range. So it's gone from strength to strength. Won several awards over the last few years, which is good, including 2 international awards. Really, really going well.
Fantastic, because this sort of product is rammed full of rubbish normally, isn't it? How aware are people of the sort of rubbish they're putting on themselves?
It's tricky. I mean, we don't like to sort of slate other companies and diss that. Some of it's sort of quite well known, some of the ingredients, but over the last, I suppose, sort of 5 or 6 years, a bit like food, over the last 10 or 15, 20 years, people want to know what they're eating, where it's grown, how it's been reared, food miles, all of that. More and more people, probably with the expansion of the internet and stuff, have got a greater awareness. Ultimately your skin's your biggest organ, and if you're slapping X, Y and Z on it, you want to be having some good stuff. So customer knowledge has grown remarkably, and some of the conversations we have when they come up to us is they want to know what's this and why is that in here and what does this do, and they're looking for quality products that are free from some of those questionable ingredients.
And of course a market like this gives you the opportunity to come out and talk to people about that very thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So last year during lockdown it was website sales were still really good, but as it's a sensory product and people want to smell it, try it, put a bit on, they want to talk, I've got eczema, I've got psoriasis, what is this suitable? So there's absolutely no substitute for in-person selling, we find. And these events that Bev and Sarah have done have been brilliant because they've always taken us to new locations. You're reaching new customers, new audiences.
Of course.
So it's been a real treat over the last sort of few months that they've been back on. So,
and I guess at the end of the day, the customer wallet is the most powerful thing, because I mean, many products, well, some still do sadly, but many products were tested on animals, but because of customers saying no, I don't want that, that's being reduced now, isn't it? So slowly the chemicals can be replaced as well.
Yeah, I mean, saying chemicals is always a tricky one. Technically water's a chemical, so I know what you mean though with the sort of nasties. But yeah, absolutely, companies are sort of shooting themselves in the foot if they're not taking on board, what it is the public actually wants. So there's been a real growth in it. But we're really proud of what we've achieved. We started with 8 or 9 products. We've now got close to 50, I think, which we formulated ourselves. We make ourselves here in Somerset. So really pleased, and it's just nice to be back out and about at markets.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Ben. I think it's stalls like this that show the importance of markets, because people can come along and see products like this that they may not know existed and learn something new about what they are putting on their bodies. So that's a good thing. So thank you very much for talking to us, Ben. I hope you have a great day.
Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bridgette, and I have the Bees stall, and I usually have honey, but I've sold out this time of year, and I use the beeswax to make lots and lots of different products. We've got the beeswax food wraps, which are really popular, and we also have tea lights, hand rolled candles, lip balms and polish.
Okay, that sounds lovely. And do you keep the bees yourself?
Yes, my husband and I are beekeepers. We've got 3 hives at the moment and lost a couple last year due to wasps, so we're trying to find ways of protecting them from the wasps. And it is vital that people do start keeping bees, because they are diminishing rapidly, so it's nice to be part of the community helping to save them.
Yeah, that is good, but it's not honeybees that are actually in decline though, is it? It's bumblebees and solitary bees.
Yeah,
and actually if everybody kept bees, then it's actually detrimental to the wild bees.
The bumblebees certainly have struggled this year because there was a warm spell early in the year, and they came out and then it turned cold again. So it is really important to look after a lot of them. But I do think people are much more aware now of planting things that enable them to feed, and remembering that it's not just flowers, that certain trees are really good as well for the bees, including things like cherry blossom, apple blossom, and actually willow is really good for them as well.
How long have you kept bees? You sound like you really enjoy it.
Probably, I think it's about 6 or 7 years now, and it's lovely to look after them, and just keep keep looking after them, keeping them safe. In the winter when it gets really cold, we do actually bubble wrap them to keep them nice and warm, so they are really well looked after.
What kind of hive system do you run?
It's the normal, I can't remember what they're called, sorry.
No, that's fine. And which is your favourite bit?
Favourite bit, I think, is just queen hunting. Spotting the queen is really exciting when you know you've got a new queen. Is just trying to find them. It gets harder and harder as my eyesight gets worse, so magnifying glass is usually really, really good. But yeah, spotting the queen is always fun.
I understand what you mean by that because I've done beekeeping. I don't think a single person otherwise, unless they've done it, would. So would you like to actually describe how you find a queen bee in your hive?
Right, so what you need to do is you just take out one of the frames at a time, flip it over and just scan it. You usually find a big huddle of the bees because they want to protect her. And a lot of people think that she's really, really big. She's actually quite skinny, but you identify the queen bee by the length, so they're much, much longer. When you find them, sometimes we mark them with a little bit of Tipp-Ex on the back if we can catch them, but we can't always. They're very good at scooting around the frame as you look, so you have to look very, very carefully.
I find that bit what I find fascinating is the noise, and like you said, when they surround her.
Yes.
The pitch changes, doesn't it, in the buzzing and stuff. I find that quite exciting. What about you?
Yes, you can also tell when the bees have had enough. Sometimes I'll be doing an inspection of a hive and then the volume changes and you think actually they've had enough, I'm going to leave them now. So it's very sort of, and also weather dependent. They don't like thunderstorms, do they? There's certain weather they don't like. So you have to be really in tune with them and listen to the noise that they're making. And yes, it does change. And some hives will accept more inspection than others. So we had a queen bee, we named her Nancy, which was a big mistake because she was definitely naughty Nancy. And we hated doing a hive inspection on her, but after a few years she was replaced, and that queen was a lot mellower, so that's good because they do dictate the mood of the hive.
I like the way you listen. Because not all beekeepers do, though, let's be honest, and I don't mean to be rude, but...
No, I have been on courses, and you can see some people are a little bit gung-ho with the bees, but they're in the corner of our garden, and I often go and sit on a bench and talk to them. And I've got a friend in Bristol actually who keeps bees, and he's got them in the polystyrene hives, and he does gardening around them. And I think they do get to know things like talking in a quiet voice, and not moving suddenly, and being very calm around them. And if you get anxious, they can pick up on that. They're really intuitive creatures. They're amazing. I can remember that somebody told my husband, just remember when you're keeping bees, you can read any book about keeping bees, but the bees don't read those books.
He spoke to a very smart person.
Yeah, so that's something to remember. You can do a textbook inspection or something, and yes, it will just won't work. We had one hive that decided to swarm into our cherry tree. We put it back twice and it swarmed the third time, so I said let's just put it in a different hive. We've got a new hive ready, absolutely fine. It just wanted to change hives.
It's like moving home, wanted different decor.
Yeah, so it's, you never know quite what they're going to do.
Well, thank you very much. It's been lovely.
So here we are at Coco's with the lovely Gemma. Hello, Gemma.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good. Now, normally you'd have chocolate as well, wouldn't
normally,
you?
yes.
But not today.
Today, it's too hot for chocolate today.
Too hot for chocolate.
Yeah.
So what instead we have is fudge.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this fudge looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm a bit of a sucker for fudge. I might have to buy some while I'm here. So tell me a bit about your local.
I'm near Taunton, so Somerset area.
Good. And do you do these markets all the time?
Yes, I do most of the eatFestival ones, and yeah, they're great fun. They're lovely gang to be in with.
So the ingredients you use, tell me about the ingredients, because presumably you're not using E-numbers and things like that, are you?
It's a highest grade Belgian chocolate and all the best ingredients I can find. Source locally where I can, and just all the best stuff.
So what do people ask for most?
Depends where you are really, because you always have different bestsellers. At the moment, like Biscoff is going well, and whatever's popular, like salted caramel. Then sometimes it's things like rum raisin and ginger. It depends on your audience really.
Because salted caramel seems to have come out of nowhere. A few years ago, no, but now you. Oh, where's that come from?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for the new salted caramel. I expect a new thing to come out, but just waiting for it, but not yet.
Oh well, it'll come. Well, I hope you have a really good day. It's been fascinating meeting you, and I will come back and I shall buy some of this lovely looking fudge. Oh yes, and of course I mustn't forget that your chocolate is gluten-free. How do you manage that?
The chocolate is just naturally gluten-free. It's just something that's about it, and then it's only really down to what toppings I put on it that basically got gluten in it. But yeah, naturally gluten-free.
Because that is important for an awful lot of people now, isn't it? More and more it seems.
Yeah, and the dark chocolate that I normally have, that's dairy-free as well. So we also have soya-free alternatives, not with us today, but no, these are soya-free. So I mean, we do cater for all of the allergies. So
yeah. I'm diabetic, so I shouldn't eat it.
So
but
normally I have chocolate. Today.
The lady has diabetic chocolate. I need your card, I think.
I can give you my card.
Please do.
Yeah, I will do that.
Thank you very much. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have diabetic, we have soya, we have gluten-free, dairy-free. No matter what you need to be free of, you could still have a life that isn't free of chocolate. How cool is that? Thank you so much, Gemma. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Bye-bye. So we've come to Passion and Soul Foods, where we've met young Marcus here, who's one of the people running this lovely stall. I have to say, my lunch came from here earlier on. I had the mac and cheese, and that was an epic mac and cheese. It was absolutely delicious. So Marcus, tell me all about your company here.
So here, the mac and cheese was nice.
It was?
Yeah, well, we've got brisket on today, and we do smoked brisket, which has been in the oven for 16 hours. We cook that for, and the pork about the same, which is pulled pork. With our special homemade seasoning on top, coating on top. So yeah, mainly we do beef and the brisket, the beef and the pork, and we also do macaroni cheese and burnt end beans as well.
Yes, for the vegetarians like me.
Macaroni cheese.
Yes. Has that been selling well today?
Yeah, it's been okay today. It's been slower today anyway. Normally it's very good. Yeah.
So how do you find when it's hot like this that hot food goes?
Oh yeah, all right.
I personally think it goes off a little bit. People don't want to eat too much hot food on a hot day, but
and it must be a pain stood there cooking it in this.
There with the gas on. We turn them all down low just to keep it nice and cool. But
so this meat, it's local?
Yeah, we're from Weston-super-Mare.
Okay.
So we cook it in the unit there. We've also got a takeaway, so it's the same sort of menu. So it's all cooked on site there, and then we bring it to the shows.
And you source your meat locally as well?
Yeah, all the meat's from Langford, I believe. Yeah. Well, the pork's from Langford and beef's from Langford. Yeah.
So the mileage on this meat is you could walk it almost.
Walk it, definitely walk it. Yeah.
That's the way it needs to be, really, isn't it? Because the food mileage is disgusting nowadays.
It is, yeah.
You know, and this new arrangement we got where we can import meat from Australia, is it, or New Zealand? Why?
Maybe China as well. Yeah.
Why do that? It's crazy. And it doesn't taste half as nice as locally produced meat, does it?
That's why we've got everything in this country that we need.
Yeah. I mean, although I'm vegetarian, I can speak from experience because I was eating meat until 3 years ago, and even then I used to like locally produced meat purely because it tastes better.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. Well, it's all this pork, it's all organic, grass-fed pork, isn't it? So, yeah,
well, if I was a meat eater, I would have had a big chunk of that, but sadly I'm not, so I can't. But thank you for talking to us today, and I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, it's been a great day. Nice to meet you.
And you too. Bye-bye, and thank you. So here we are with the lovely Paul and his company Gluten-Free Picnic. Hello, Paul.
Good afternoon.
I have to say I've had one of your cheddar and leek pasties already because that just looks so nice. Tell me, What is gluten and how do you make something gluten-free?
Well, gluten is a compound around wheat, so to make it gluten-free you need another flour made from either rice, potato, maize, that's not made from wheat. And then the method is simple, you just use a recipe and make a pastry as you would, but with a different flour.
So does it bake any differently, or is it?
It can do, but through a lot of trial and error, I've got a pastry that works for me. So it might not be how most people make a pasty, but it's how I make a pasty. It's how I like the pasty to look and taste. So,
It certainly looked good to me, I tell you. I'm having mine for tea tonight when I get home. So a lot of people assume if it's gluten-free, it's taste-free. That is just not the case, is it?
no, that's not the case. It can be if you buy something from a generic brand from a supermarket, but they tend to go free from everything. I use all butter, which is really crucial in the pastry. It gives it a lovely colour, lovely taste, makes it nice and crisp, and it's a great flavour. That's how I like to eat it, so that's how I make it.
Tell me, have you got cold hands? Because that's essential, isn't it?
It is, but also strong hands, because if you can keep the butter really cold, it becomes quite hard, so you need strong hands to be able to work it. And I'm quite big, and I'm still relatively young, so I can still work it.
Excellent, thank you very much. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's going to be a pleasure eating your produce when I get home later tonight. Thank you very much for talking to us.
You can go to my website and we do online delivery and
the lovely Paul is going to give me his card now, and I'm going to put the details in the description below, so if you see anything here that you fancy, and believe you me, there's plenty to fancy, get in touch and he'll send you some stuff through the post, so you don't even have to be here and you can still sample it. Brilliant, thank you. Okay, so here we are with Mike from Mike's Pork. Hello, Mike.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad, thank you.
Has it been a good market for you?
Yes, not too bad. Steady trade, yeah.
So you specialise in pork, obviously.
Yeah, mainly pork.
And you source your pork from where?
It's our own pigs. We breed and rear our own pork and butcher ourselves. That's my trade, a butcher.
So the whole thing, end to end.
Yeah.
So that's good, because this fork to fork thing, food to fork thing is so essential.
Yeah.
People are transporting this stuff halfway around the world, aren't they?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. So we do all that ourselves. So we know exactly what pig it is, where it's come from, the parentage, everything. It's all pedigree, so it's fully traceable.
So that sausage there is Ermine.
Yeah, that's right.
There is Daisy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I stopped eating meat 3 years ago, but before I did stop eating meat, I started to eat locally produced meat, because I figured, you know, if you can tell that they've been looked after and it's not travelled far, that's a good thing. But then I stopped eating it because I just couldn't eat animals. But as a butcher, I'm not going to have that conversation with you because you'll probably get irate. But I think what you're doing is fantastic. And, you know, local butchers, supermarkets just don't understand this, do they?
No, definitely not. Their stuff's travelled all over the country, I expect.
If not the world.
Well, yes, possibly, yeah. Yes.
And so your pastry, is it a secret ingredient?
Might be.
Well, we're not going to talk about that then. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. I hope you have a great market, and look forward to seeing you again, because we're going to try and get them to come back regularly. This needs to happen more often, doesn't it?
Yes, that's certainly true. It does, yeah. Once we get in here regular, people will get used to it, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few councillors walking around this morning, so they should be easy to persuade. I used to be a councillor, so I should be getting in touch with a lot of them.
Oh, that's all right then. That's good. Yeah, well done.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Here we go, it's the pudding lady. Hey! This lady's making steamed puddings, my favourite thing in the world. Let's just go and have a look. Oh, do you know what? I can't wait to go home tonight and eat mine. Stay there, I'll come to you. And here we are with probably the most important lady on the market, because she makes the steamed puddings. What's your name?
Anne.
Hello, Anne. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Brilliant. So, steamed puddings, there's an art in that, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's my grandmother's recipe, so it's been passed down through the family. I lost my mum, so I'm now making them. So pass on to all you good folk out there, all you pudding lovers.
Oh, and I'm one of them. And I tell you what, passed down family recipes. We're going to talk to the Thai food people in a minute. The lady there is cooking stuff that her grandmother used to cook. And I think it's so important. I mean, my mum cooked things that her mum cooked, and I've learned to cook some of them, not as well though.
It's important to have the tradition and to pass it on. And people don't make them, people can't be bothered to make them because the steaming process takes so long.
Now, I'm going to say something that's going to really upset you in a minute, but I've got a recipe at home to make this in 30 seconds in a microwave.
That's not a proper pudding.
I told you, but you know, on
each pudding is steamed for 3 hours, so that's how you get the taste of tradition.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I bought 3 of these to take a lemon curd one, a bakewell tart one, and a treacle one. And guess what I'm having for pudding tonight?
Hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much for talking to me, and thank you so much for coming to this wonderful market, which hopefully we will see you both again at the next one that we have here, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. So, here we are with the lovely Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Right, so you make pork scratchings. Now, tell me, you get these from your butcher because they would normally be thrown away, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so pig skin is generally a waste product from butchery. So when bacon's made, when sausages are made, all the things that we take for granted, we can't use the skin, so it would get thrown away normally. So I take it and I make it into pork scratchings for people to enjoy with a nice pint of beer.
Now, I've got to say, these don't look like the bits of wood you see people eating in a pub with a pint.
Well, of course they don't.
What's the difference?
So they go through a 3-stage process. They're blanched in hot salty water, they're taken out, drained, then they're put into an oven. That takes about 40 minutes for them to crisp up and look like they do. And then they go into a dehydrator overnight, which takes the last of the moisture out and makes them last a little bit longer.
Fantastic.
So they're essentially like the crackling that you'd get on your pork joint at home.
Which is always the bit I used to throw away, I'm sorry.
Best bit, thank you.
I know! People keep saying it's the best bit. I understand that with potato skins, but never understood that with pig skins. But I can understand why people do like them. I can, but I think it's brilliant, fantastic. I've never seen them look like this before either.
Well, as I say, it's because they have such a long cooking process and they're made with love.
They look like it, they really do. Well, thank you for talking to us. So I'm with Mark from Glebe Farm.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine, mate. Where's Glebe Farm, Mark?
In Mark.
Oh, I know Mark, I cycle through there.
Yeah, in Mark, yeah.
Oh, wow. And you grow most of what we see in front of us on your farm, do you?
We grow some of it, not all of it, and we use local suppliers where we can. You know, like actually today we got cheddar strawberries, so we use all that. You know, as much English and local as we can.
I can vouch for these cheddar strawberries because I take them up to my mum. Hello, Mum. These are those strawberries I bring you, and she loves them.
That's very good, yeah.
They taste excellent. Like all locally produced food, it tastes better than what you get in the supermarket.
Of course, that goes without saying.
It does really, doesn't it? I'm doing your job. I'm going to interview myself. So this is much better than you would normally find anywhere else. And I think it's wonderful that this market is bringing people like you out. So, because I think we had a discussion before. I cannot understand why a town like Glastonbury cannot support a greengrocer. I mean, there's that many vegetarians like me and vegans, and yet we can't keep greengrocers in the town.
No, I mean, it is a big shame, but if a lot of the towns are the same, actually.
They are.
I mean, I've done this for a long time, and we used to supply a lot of the local area. Burnham-on-Sea's lost their last fruit shop. You know, it's a shame.
And this is a damn supermarket, so we're getting a shipping it in from all around the bloody world, aren't they? Excuse my French.
Yeah, and they just use it as a loss leader, sell it for less than it costs to produce, and the small independents can't keep up with that, and they can't, you know, they shouldn't be allowed to sell something cheaper than what it costs to produce.
Yeah, and this other thing, that fruit has to look a certain way, and they discard it if it doesn't. And then what they do is they say, oh, we'll sell it as wobbly fruit and charge you more for it.
Yeah, incredible.
Oh,
Yeah, it is incredible.
Dear. My dad, even to the day he went into his home, he wouldn't eat carrots with the green bits on them, and he wouldn't. No, strange, very strange. Well, I've got to say, the stuff you've got here looks fantastic. I think you've had some cherries already, haven't you, Amy? Did you have some cherries already?
No, I forgot James.
Oh, you're going to?
Right,
Yeah, I'm going to have some grapes. Mark, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming out today. We hope to see you on the next market when it comes here.
No problem. Thanks
Brilliant.
for your time.
Thank you. Well, here we are with the marvellous Alan Stone, who probably needs no introduction, so I'm not going to give him one. Alan and I have known each other for a few years now. He used to wear a different hat to this one, which I'm sure he can tell you about. But in the meantime, Alan, tell me about Stone Cider.
Stone Cider's been going for on and off. I've been making it with my son for 9 years now. So I've had other jobs while I was doing that. But now I'm kind of semi-retired. I kind of can focus a bit more on the cider. And it's going really well. It's traditional cider. It's won lots of awards like British Cider Championships. The Farmhouse Dry has been placed 4 times out the last 5, including winning it once. So got a good pedigree. And we're in Glastonbury, and a lot of our apples come from Glastonbury Abbey Orchard, which is just up there, just over the wall.
You get your apples from there, do you?
Yeah, no, I've got them because my younger son used to be the events manager there.
Fantastic. So, do you do different types of different labels? I know nothing about cider, I'm afraid.
I do make the Abbey cider for them, the Glastonbury Abbey cider, but they only sell that in their gift shop.
That's right.
But I was working at the Abbey last year as a living history monk, so giving guided tours dressed as a monk.
Really?
So I quite enjoy that. Yeah. But I make a range of ciders, all 100% cider apple, which you've got to make it out cider apples. Different varieties make different ciders, but I don't do any fruit cider or anything like that. And I've got the carbonated ciders, the fizzy ciders, which I've got my favourite, the Dabanet, which is a beautiful fruity type cider, really nice. And then I've got the traditional ciders in the pouches, which are still cider. So it's a good range. I do about 6,000 litres a year, and mainly out through markets, a couple of pubs. Where can you get it? George at Croscombe, Traveller's Rest at Pennard, Swan in Shepton, and there's Sheppey at Godney. So they're the sources you get the cider, and a couple of shops. So that's what I do. And it's a retirement business, but quite a nice one.
And of course local. I mean, it's fantastic. Everything's so local.
Oh, very local, very local. You know, the apples are all local, and then I sell it all locally, so can't be bad.
So I've got to ask, how much do you drink yourself?
On the whole, if you want an absolutely honest answer, I'm no Roger Wilkins. I drink about probably 2 pints a night on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So about 8 pints a week, something like that. I drink myself, and that does. I also sample other people's ciders.
Like the BBC, other producers are also available, and Roger Wilkins is one of the other producers. I've got to ask a question. You probably should know the answer to this. How many apple trees make an orchard?
3.
5. Close. If you've got 5 apple trees, you have an orchard. So there you go.
Oh, right, that's interesting.
I've just taught a cider producer something about orchards. Yay! Well, thank you very much, Al. It's been lovely to see you again.
Nice to
lovely to see you again. And I shall see you again, hopefully soon, because we want these markets to come back.
Oh, well, I like the idea, I like the concept of this one. Not a huge event, but, you know, a market in a local town on a Sunday. I really like that. You know, I'm a Shepton Mallet person myself, so I really like to do more of these in Shepton Mallet. So we'll see. There's one on the 8th of August. and we're in Wells next week.
Wells next week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for talking. Thank you very much for talking to us. We've got to go and talk to the others now because Amy has to go soon, so we'll get moving on. But thank you for talking.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Right, well, we're here with the lovely Pop from Pop's Thai Kitchen, and we have just got to say the food from here is absolutely amazing. I had a samosa, you had the noodles, didn't you?
Oh, I did, and they're the best noodles I've ever made.
And I understand this is quite an occasion because these recipes are from your grandmother?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
She's never seen you cook?
She never seen me cook, like professional cook. No, never.
Well, now she's going to because she can see you on this video. Say hello to your granny. What's she called?
Hi. แม่สอน
Say hello to her.
สวัสดีค่ะแม่สวัสดีค่ะ
Lovely, fantastic. Yes. Well, this lady is doing you proud, is all I can say. Her cooking is superb. So, tell me about some of the dishes you have here.
So I got some noodle here. So this is egg noodle stir fry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is massaman chicken curry.
Oh.
And then which is
Massaman, I love that.
medium. Yeah. And then this is green chicken curry.
Yeah.
And then we got a vegan curry, which is got mixed beans and then some seitan in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then that is just chicken for the noodles. And then we got pad thai, which is we make pad thai to order.
Mhm.
We got pad thai prawns, pad thai chicken, or pad thai vegan with tofu.
Because Amy was saying when she's at a festival, she always aims for these kind of Thai kitchens because it's such good eating food when you're out and about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and quite healthy as well. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of ingredient in there.
Yeah. And do you source all your ingredients locally?
Sometimes, yeah. Normally, if people pre-order, and I also got some homemade sauce, which I start my business with. This is called suki sauce.
Yeah.
So normally in Thailand, we use with a steam bowl.
Yes.
So we eat in the steam bowl and then put the sauce in. But here, we just use it for the stir fry. And then some people bought it and they use for the wrap.
Yes.
And then put on the naan or something, and then put wrap on. Yeah, and perfect. Yeah.
Well, Pop, you and your team are doing an amazing job here. Amy really enjoyed her lunch. I can tell you that for nothing. She doesn't talk. And when Amy's not talking and eating, she's enjoying, is all I can say. It's been lovely to meet you, and it's fantastic that we're able to let your granny see you cooking. It's absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much for talking. Okay, bye-bye.
We're here with Amy and she's got lots of lovely produce. Would you like to explain about Plotgate, where it is and how you got started?
So Plotgate's in Barton St David, which is about 5 miles from Glastonbury. We've been running for 7 years. We're a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture project. So our customers join us as members of the farm and they subscribe to a weekly or a fortnightly veg box from us. So that's mostly what we do, and we're here today promoting the veg boxes but also selling some of our beautiful summer vegetables as well. So we're here at the little Eat Festival in Glastonbury.
And you have open days and things, don't you? And like courses and different things that go on. Is there a website or a Facebook page that people?
There is. Plotgatecommunityfarm.org is our website, and that explains how the veg works, but also opportunities to come to the farm and to get involved. We also have a Facebook page, Plotgate Community Farm, where we can keep people up to date with what's happening on a day-to-day basis.
And if people wanted to do like the veg box, could they get in contact you through those avenues, or is there a specific avenue you prefer?
The website's the best. There's a form that you can fill out on there, so it saves a lot of backwards and forwards emails. It just means that you fill out a form with all the information we need, and that comes through to me in the office.
Cool. And for anyone else that doesn't know Amy or Plotgate or the beautiful people there, it is a stunning place, and I'm going to get Amy to describe it.
Okay, so Plotgate is the community farms it's based on 10 acres. We're one of the largest hand-cultivated market gardens in the country. We have 5 gardens, we kind of organise the growing into different garden spaces. So we have a tunnel garden. We call it the fruit garden because we have some perennial beds in there for fruit and things as well. So yeah, five gardens, each of about half an acre, and 5 polytunnel spaces that we grow in. It's a very beautiful and slightly unusual landscape. All of the beds are kind of curved around the contours of the field. We're completely off-grid, so we have a water reservoir which is for our irrigation, and obviously solar panels and solar pumps and things for our electricity needs. So yeah, completely off-grid, and I suppose a design, sort of permaculture type design approach to the gardens, but integrated with more traditional kind of market garden approaches.
I can't remember what you call it, but I believe I saw Dan cycling in the dirt. What was he doing?
Cycling in the dirt. Yeah, so we're hand cultivated on quite a large scale. So Dan has done quite a lot of work developing tools that make our job much easier and change the work from constantly bending over to actually sort of standing up. So he's developed a range of bicycle. They're based on bicycles, on upcycling or recycling bicycles, to create tools for the gardens. Most of these are kind of 2-person push tools. So one person stands in each path and you push them together, or people can join on the front and pull them as well. So we've got a potato ridger, we've got a shallow cultivator, and then there is single-person sort of bicycle-based tools for scraping out the paths and cleaning paths as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things that look like bicycles but aren't bicycles scattered around the garden.
They look ingenious, is what they do. Yeah, no, definitely. And what is your favourite bit about Plotgate? What's the bit, like your favourite season or your favourite, I don't know, vegetable? Your favourite part to do? I know a lot of it is favourites because it's seasonal and there'll be different changes.
I think the seasonality itself is really lovely, and going through that cycle each year is really special. I think we've all really enjoyed watching the wildlife come back to the gardens as we've turned it into sort of a more diverse ecosystem, and tried to sort of farm and grow food in ways that sort of support the wildlife. And year on year we see bird life, butterfly life, insect life that we've never seen before. And that's actually the most beautiful thing for me. We've got hares that live in the garden, and this is the second year that they've moved into the gardens, and they're just beautiful because actually I had never seen a hare in this part of Somerset before, and they've just moved in and come to us. We had an otter swimming in our pond one morning. That was quite special.
How cool to be able to say you share your swimming pool with an otter.
We do, yes, we do. Well, only on one occasion.
Yeah, even so, don't do it for me.
Yeah. It was once, but it was good. Yeah, so that's definitely the biggest thing for us. And sparrowhawks came back. Like, we've seen sparrowhawks for the first time this year.
So there is definitely said to be something about doing things in more of a permaculture, hand, looking after the land kind of way, do you think, as opposed to?
Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally if you stop poisoning things, which is what a lot of industrial farming does, unfortunately, with heavy use of pesticides and herbicides, I think it's just testament to the fact that if you stop poisoning things, then things really start kind of thriving. And that's a very hopeful. How quickly it's happened is very hopeful for me.
Do you think you'll manage an open day this year? Because obviously last year it was all closed for obvious COVID reasons. Do you think you might manage one?
Yeah, I think we'll have a September open day. I think that would be a very nice thing to do.
Cool. Well, I'll definitely be there. What about you, Gabe?
Yeah, well, we were talking earlier on, and I was saying it would be nice if we came along as a channel and actually had a look at your garden, because it's good talking about it, but it'd be even nicer to show everybody what's going on down there.
Yeah. Come and have a look. You're very welcome.
Brilliant. Thank you, Amy.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm here with the lovely Paola from Get Pickled. Hello, Paola.
Hello, lovely to meet you, Gabriel.
Thank you, and lovely to meet you too. So tell me a little bit about what it is you make and how you make it.
Well, we started Get Pickled, or I started Get Pickled during lockdown by trying to use the best of surplus I had around from my gardens and friends' gardens and preserving it, or as I call it, upcycling vegetables. So pickling in its various forms, like from making condiments, pestos, fermented foods, and pickles, and making the best of what we have, the products we have in Somerset.
I've got to say, we bought some pickled mango earlier on. It is amazing, totally amazing.
Thank you very much. And I know it's not from Somerset, but if I can find a mango that hasn't been ripened enough, it will be pickled here.
Well, it's made here, that's all that matters. So that's a Brazilian recipe?
Well, no, it's a Surinamese recipe. I am Brazilian, but my friend from Suriname, we call the Latin American, unofficial embassy in Froome. So we kind of exchanging recipes and how to make the use of, tropical fruit that shouldn't really be arriving here at this time of the year. But by doing so, we still want to use it and not letting go to a compost or underused or being wasted.
And of course, it's so important that food isn't thrown away, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just making the best of all the ingredients you have around. I think that's our motto and it's in the core of our ethos.
Well, they've just announced it's so hot here today that the market's going to close an hour early. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to the lovely Paola, because there's still a few people I've got to get round. I thought I had another hour, but things are being finished sooner rather than later. So thank you, Paola.
Thank you, Gabriel, and hope to see you soon.
And we'll see you at the next one. Bye. So here I am at the Riverford Farm stall with Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Now, Riverford Farm, I'm sure everybody has heard of. They're probably one of the most famous organic food companies out there. I used to live in Totnes, where they're based, and they were everywhere. And their food boxes are famous. Your food boxes are famous. So tell me a little bit about Riverford and why you're here today.
Yeah, well, Riverford, as you said, is an organic producer. We actually produce more veg than anyone else in the UK nowadays. And we deliver from the farm to people's homes, direct, super fresh veg. Basically, by doing that, we're getting more and more people to go back to a more traditional way of doing things. And so we do these events to basically encourage people to try something different to a supermarket shop. Try something better, try something fresher, cheaper, and basically more ethical all the way around.
With no miles?
Yeah, with less miles, obviously.
Less miles.
We have to move a bit of food around to get it to you, but ultimately it's coming from the closest place we can get it to you from, and we're not air freighting anything from abroad, so yeah, the environmental impact of this stuff is really low.
And presumably if you come out with stuff that's a little bit bent or jiggly, you'd still sell it. It hasn't got to be perfectly lined like all this supermarket stuff.
Yeah, why waste good food? We want people to, appreciate veg for how it comes, because that's how nature intended it, and it always tastes great from us anyway.
Yeah, I think it's so important because so many people today just think supermarkets when they get vegetables, and it's just not nice. You've got to try. I mean, I've been eating the apples out of here today, and apples just don't taste like that from a supermarket.
Yeah, this is something we hear constantly from our customers. We often get people approaching our stand when we do these promotions, just telling us how much they love it and how it's transformed their weekly shop, but also the food that they eat, because it tastes fantastic. Yeah.
I've got to say, when I lived in Totnes, I used to get your boxes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I know you're busy. They're packing up early because it is so hot here today. So I'm going to leave these guys to get on with what they're doing and move on to the next one. Thanks, Sam.
Cheers.
So, here we are with Carl from Winner's Bakery. Now, I've got to say, before we go any further, this has been the most disappointing stall of the day, because they had this bread, the tear and share bread, which had all of my favourite ingredients. It had pesto, it had feta. Oh, it looked gorgeous, and I thought I'll pop back and pick one of those up. What was the first thing they sold out of? The bread I wanted. So I'm going home empty-handed, but they are in Burnham-on-Sea and Weston-super-Mare.
Yeah.
They are in Burnham-on-Sea and Weston-super-Mare, so I will be going there, and I suggest you do too, because the food from here is amazing. So hello mate, how you doing?
Very good, and you?
Excellent. How's the market been for you?
It's been a busy day.
It has, hasn't it? Yes. I mean, we're finishing an hour early because everybody wants to go home.
Yeah, we're sold out more or less.
Yeah. So do most of your ingredients locally sourced as far as possible?
Yeah, we get our flour from Shipton Mill, we get eggs from Fair Ash Farm up in the Mendips. My jam from Rose Farm over in Wedmore, which we sell with our cream teas, which are very popular this time.
You do cream teas as well?
Yeah.
Push bikes. People on push bikes love cream tea, so I'm going to be going over there for a cream tea next time I go.
Good.
So you're in the High Street there, yeah?
Yeah, we're on Burnham-on-Sea High Street and Western High Street as well.
Fantastic. Well, I should be going over, and I suggest you do. Well, listen, I'm going to keep this short because over there is their van, and they want to tidy up and go home. So I'm not going to keep in your way, but thank you so much for talking to us. And don't forget, people, if you're in Burnham-on-Sea or Weston-super-Mare, go see these guys. And over there, you can see their telephone number and details. Do get in touch with them. Thank you very much for talking to us, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been another Glastonbury Gabriel video. The market is now coming to an end. You can see the Abbey grounds behind me as the stalls are taken down. It's been a fantastic day. It's been a very hot day. In fact, it's ending an hour early at 3 o'clock because it's just too hot. I've got to say, there's been a lot of people walking dogs today, and the ground is so hot underfoot you can't even touch the ground. So if you do have a dog and you're walking around on black tarmac, have a thought for the dog, because their paws are going to get burnt horribly. But it's been a lovely day, and I'm hoping this market comes back because I've learnt a lot. I'm sure people visiting have probably learnt a lot, and they've all gone home with some food that tastes that much better than what they get at the supermarket. So it's been great to be here, and thank you to the organisers, Bev and Sarah, who invited us down to come and have a look at what's going on here, and I hope to be reporting from another one of these very soon. So thank you very much, and goodbye.